I hope it's not a controversial take that JavaScript's a kind of cursed language. As great as it is, it's also evil and terrible, and as powerful as it is, and as much as it's taken over the world, it was also designed in a week. As much as I love using it, and I use it for almost everything I build, okay, I use TypeScript, but you get the idea, I do recognize how many weird things there are inside of JavaScript. Not a thing I've ever hesitated to cover. I have a whole bunch of videos where I break down weird JavaScript behaviors, but there's one thing I've always hesitated to talk about. The other thing that is even more cursed than JS itself. Date times. In particular, the date class in JavaScript, which is the most evil possible combination of these two terrible things. JavaScript and its weird behaviors, and the even weirder behaviors inherent to time zones. This is a fun one. I'll be honest, I actually filmed this already. I'm filming the intro afterwards, and you guys are about to watch a descent into madness. Phase, roll the highlight reel of my pain. I'm about to embarrass myself immensely. So it's going to be that instead. No, it was. I need to trust my gut. Oh, God. I'm going to die. I'm actually going to die. This all makes so much sense. I don't like that I was right on that. I'm going to go insane. If you just do the dumb thing, you'll get it right. Lesson learned. What is happening? What is this language? Why does this exist? Can I be done? Can I please be done with this? I'm gonna go crazy. Someone has got to cover my therapy bills after this one. Quick word from today's sponsor, and then you can watch me suffer. I've been writing way more small projects recently, but finding the right place to host them is getting a little bit annoying. Finding the perfect database provider, host for the actual servers, CDN, firewall, and all these other parts often means you're hopping between different clouds just to make one app work. And God forbid you want something like a preview and code review, good luck. Unless you're using today's sponsor, Savala. These guys understand everything you need for a good deployment experience because they built it already as Kinsta for WordPress. WordPress needs all of these pieces to be a good experience, and they realized, oh, we can give this to you for everything. And when I say everything, I mean it. You can host Rails, Next, Elixir, Laravel, whatever you want to do, they support it almost certainly. And using them doesn't mean you're using some weird small teams cloud. You're building on top of GCP and on top of Cloudflare, using both for what they're best at. Here's a real deployment that I have up, and by default, we have DDoS protection on. You can also turn on CDN caching with a switch. You literally go to the dashboard and then check the box, and now I have Cloudflare as a CDN caching our static assets. Yes, it's actually that easy. Oh, what if you need a database? You click the database tab, you click add database, and now you can pick between any of the major databases. Cool enough as is, but when you go a bit further, you realize you get a whole dashboard for managing the database. Here's all of the data in this database. It's all mock data, don't worry, I'm not leaking emails, but I can run some SQL commands directly from here. It's so useful. They even have templates for one-click deploying a ton of different things. And what's extra funny is they included Ghost, which is an alternative to WordPress. So you can build your own front end on top of a headless CMS. If you're tired of cloud hopping and want one place with everything, check them out now and you'll get $50 of credit for free. Learn more today at soydev.link/Savala. How well do you know JavaScript's date class? I have a bad feeling about how well I'm going to do on this. I notoriously am not great at weird date time stuff in JavaScript, and I have a bad feeling I'm about to embarrass myself immensely. Okay. No? To what? Why is 0 interpreted as 2000? Okay, can I open up my own like REPL at the same time? So I want to try 00 now. Same, okay. And 1. What? Okay, so 0 is 2000, 1, 1, but 1 is 2001, 1, 1, and then 2 is 2001, 2, 1. What? Okay, this is going to hurt me deeply, isn't it? And then numbers. I'm going to be in so much pain from this. Please tell me. Okay, I got one right so far. That makes sense that it's Unix epoch. It doesn't make sense at all if this works. Date.parse. Date.parse returns a date, and I don't think dates can be equal, so I think this has to be false. What? It only operates on strings, so the 0 becomes 0 string. Are you kidding? I actually don't know if throwing something to date can throw an error. I don't know what the behavior is. I would never do this. This is gonna hurt. This is like literally a random guess. Invalid date is still a date object. It's not null or an error. Great. Oh God, what happens when you get time on it? Oh no. Oh no. Please tell me it's nan. Okay. We're at 2 right ones so far. To ISO string. What's it going to return as a... Okay, then it throws an error. Chat says I need to just go by vibes. I'll feel it in my heart. I have a bad feeling I'm going to feel something in my heart. To time string. So to ISO threw an error. Will this also... You're joking, right? That... Why? Why would to time string return the string invalid date, but to ISO string returns an error? You aren't sure, pick 2 options and choose the one that you believe it isn't. That's honestly the best advice I've gotten so far. Okay. New date 1. Okay, I cheated a bit. I'm sorry. I don't know how I vibe code guessed this. Oh God. I would hope that it follows the pattern of the math, but the thing someone said earlier that was good advice is pick the 2 and use the one that's least likely. So I would think it's 1 or 2, and my guess is that it would be 2 here, 2001-1201, to follow the pattern. So it's going to be that instead. No, it was. I need to trust my gut. Oh God. Well, it can't be that. That's not real. So it has to be 1 or 3. I'm going to die. I'm actually going to die. What? I have to know. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. That makes sense. No, it doesn't make sense. What? I hate this language. What if I make this 300, though? It starts working again after 32? Why? What? What is wrong with numbers 13 through 31 that they're not able to be passed, and then everything past that can? What is this language? Oh, and even funnier, once you break 99... Oh, okay, way funnier. When you hit 49, it's 2049. 50 goes back to 1950 for some fucking reason. Even though, remember, 0 is 1970, but 50 is 1950. But then, once we hit 100, it goes further back, and now we're year 0100. The hour changes randomly, too. I didn't even notice that until someone pointed it out. What the fuck is this language? Next question. Okay, we kind of cheated here, because we know that this is year 0100, and this is year 1999. So that's true. I forgot what the 49 was. Fuck. No, it was 2049, and then 50 was 1950. I just cheated really hard for this. I'm sorry. I had to know. I had to. 12.1. I have literally no idea what this would be even. No? What? Okay. Isn't that the same as if I just passed 12? Pretty much the same as if I just passed 12. 1201, 08. Oh no, it resets to 0. What? This all makes so much sense. Okay, so 0.1 reset the timestamp part to 0. What does 0.0 do? I don't like that I was right on that. I'm going to go insane. No month has a 0th day, so it's considered invalid. Yeah, great. Thanks, JavaScript. You make so much sense. I don't even want to think about this one. What happens if you do this? Invalid's the only thing that makes sense, but it's not going to be invalid because it's going to treat the dash as this type of dash. I'm just thinking, like, what's the stupidest thing it could do? And I picked the stupidest one, and I was right. So that's how we're doing this going forward. Perhaps, 1, it's going to ignore the string because the string isn't a date time type string. It's not a month or a weekday or something. So it's just going to ignore that. It's going to use the 1. And as we've established before, that's 2001-01-01. Cool. If you just do the dumb thing, you'll get it right. Lesson learned. Empty string, an empty... So perhaps isn't a month or a weekday, which means that it's going to be nullified. So this isn't part of the input anymore, which means it's now effectively an empty string. An empty string is effectively 0, and 0 is effectively epoch time, so obviously it's invalid fucking date. What is this language? Oh my god. I should have chat showing for this one. I'm going to do my best to not look at chat, but I want it here so you guys can. Next question. Maybe one. Same deal, because maybe is a random string that's... Wait, no, May. It says May in it. Oh, he's in BST. I got scammed on that one. I was wondering why he'd put 4 in there. I could have got that if I thought a little harder. Tricky bastard. Thanks, Sam. 4th of May, 2010. It's not going to recognize 4th. It's nowhere near smart enough for that. So May 2010. I almost clicked that one. I was like, okay, it's going to do the thing where it goes backwards again. Maybe not, though, because it doesn't have the, like, 0th. May 4 UTC. What's it going to use the 4 for? It's not going to use it for anything logical. It's going to ignore the UTC for sure. The only one of these that would make literally no sense is this one. So I'm going to click that one. Oh, it actually used the UTC part. Cool. Good to know. It's the only time it's had an answer that almost made sense. UTC +1, it won't parse properly. No, it will. Cool. I have lost so much faith. Oh God, what's it going to do here? At this point, I don't even know. Okay. 2201. Okay, so it did offset the right amount. You can do random offsets to UTC and it will handle it. Will it correctly turn this into 2? Not that there's anything correct you can do with this. I want to die. Please be invalid. No, what? It goes back to... Oh, because it parses the 60 as 1960 because it can't parse it as the offset for the timestamp. That makes perfect fucking sense. What a sane language. Oh, no. Okay, I want to find one that uses all of the info here. Okay, none of these have the 1990 part and the 2010 part. There is no answer here that I'll be happy with. Okay, finally. Oh, God. So if you wrap the 2010 in parens... I was really hoping it would be invalid. But parentheses text is ignored? Is that always the case? It is. Cool. Okay. It doesn't matter where the parentheses are. It is ignored. Okay. New date negative empty array. Okay. What does negative empty array even map to? I'm giving myself a hint. It's -0. -0 is 0, 1970. Okay, cool. Woo! Almost half. I almost got a 50%. I hate this language. I hate this so much. And that was with some cheating, yeah. Oh my God, what is this language? Why do we do this to ourselves? I am very excited about the Temporal API. Zoned date time takes in an object with specification. How nice. Year in leap year to string. Oh, I want this API so badly. This is going to help so much. So much. I'm still a Day.js guy, but date.fns is really good too. There's a lot of options that are a lot better than new date. It never does what I expect it to. I want to die. Shout out to Sam for putting together this absolute monstrosity that is making my head hurt. He has written so many awesome articles, many of which you guys have seen on here before, including the load balancing article that I absolutely adore. He is a connoisseur of cursed things in the browser and has clearly found a new level of cursed with the JavaScript date time chaos. I want to die. I hope this helps you more than it hurt me. If you haven't already seen my video, the WTF.js one, I go through a similar set of horrible, chaotic things in the language, which there are just so many of. Oh God, we work in a cursed language. The reason it's so cursed is nothing can ever be changed, because someone's relying on that cursed behavior. As always, there's an XKCD for it. Changes in version 10.17. The CPU no longer overheats when you hold down the spacebar. Longtime user 4. This update broke my workflow. My control key is hard to reach, so I hold spacebar instead, and I configured Emacs to interpret a rapid temperature rise as control. That's horrifying. Look, my setup works for me. Just add an option to re-enable spacebar heating. Now imagine that there's a website that does all of these things the way that they currently work, however chaotic it is, and then the person is no longer maintaining the site. They get a new job, the bus factor kicks in, something else happens, and now they can't maintain it anymore, and then the browser goes and fixes this behavior. We're screwed. And at this point, there isn't enough benefit to fixing it. Like, we could do another strict mode type thing where we go even stricter with the browser. It's not going to happen. No one's going to buy into it. It's just, we deal with what we have now. The way that the browser works is the way that the browser works, and it is our job as developers to work around it. And to anybody saying that we should move off all our frameworks and tooling and go back to vanilla JS, I hope you don't work with date times. I keep thinking I'm done talking about how cursed date times are. I saw Sam mention that Bun copies V8. Obviously it does. The V8 engine that's in Chrome and Node and everything else is the one that is most standard. Not literally, but it represents the official JS standard really well. But apparently, even though I assumed other engines would have it, it's not necessarily true. Firefox behaves very differently. For better or worse, I am actually in a Firefox-based browser right now. So we'll go to a random site. I will open up the console. New date 0. Cool, that works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 13. Breaks. Same behavior so far. Sam, I'm stumped here. What's different in Firefox? Apparently, V8 doesn't even implement date. It's provided by the runtime. So Node, Chromium, Dino, etc. all provide the way date works. That's even more cursed. Oh God, I'm learning too much about this. Okay, this is fun. Different browsers behaving differently for some of these things. So the 12-point examples are invalid here, as well as the negative ones, even though they are valid in Node and in Chrome. That's fun. The maybe one example is also broken in Firefox. This is the first time ever I've been thankful Firefox breaks because it keeps us from using these bad behaviors. Apparently the 4th of May example is invalid in Firefox. Oh, I have something I want to do here. UTC. Okay, that fixes that part. But it doesn't work in Firefox no matter what. That one's a little more annoying because like I could see a use for this, unlike the other examples. And apparently the offsets aren't supported in Firefox either. At least the non-integer ones. Wait, maybe none of them are? Eh? Maybe I was wrong and Firefox is just cursed. Okay. Apparently Sam did all of this because he was working on a date bug at work and noticed some weirdness and kept digging and kept losing his mind. I love that type of thing. I was watching a funny YouTube video yesterday. God, I'm sidetracked so hard. I don't care. This was incredible. The Spinda rabbit hole goes deeper than you think. You don't know, in Pokemon, there's a Pokemon named Spinda that has 4 spots that are randomly located, and the different ways those spots get placed across the different games and IPs is genuinely hilarious, and it keeps getting weirder and weirder the further you go. Very fun, and this reminds me of that. The difference being, that is a single Pokemon that is useless in a video game, and this is one of the most important standards in the browser. It's kind of crazy that you can't do a string like this with new date in Firefox. I think I actually knew that because I ran into this with the one Firefox user we had on an internal tool at Twitch. If I do this differently, though, because now I'm curious. Okay, we'll still do the UTC +1. It will handle the offsets as well. So it handles this part fine. It's the May 4th part it can't do. What if I add random text to the start? Doesn't care. Okay. This is so cursed. I hate all of this. Oh, God, I'm going to go insane. I'm happy I'm not the only one who thinks this is so cursed. Brendan Eich, the legend who created JavaScript in a week, has commented on Sam's work here. By the way, follow him on Twitter if you haven't. Yeah, Brendan Eich's comment was, thanks for publicizing the big don't copy JDK 1.0 code into JS 1.0 lesson. Okay, apparently most of the implementation was from Java util date back in the day. And that module in Java was deprecated in favor of a new one called Calendar with a more modern API. But since JavaScript copied the really bad implementation in Java, literally JDK 1.0, we now have to suffer with the cursed nature of it because a language like Java can make improvements when new major versions occur, and a language like JavaScript cannot because it has to keep working on old websites. I want to die. This is awful. I hate everything. If you want an even funnier rant about how hard time and time zones are in programming, this is one of Tom Scott's first videos. If I recall, this is his first ever viral one. I think about this video way too often. Check it out if you haven't. It's a hilarious deep dive in the chaos that is managing date times.
Then you get a call from the Russian historian who says, yeah, we only changed the Gregorian calendar in the 20th century. And it turns out the dates that you skip change depending on your location. And can you deal with that as well? And then you get a call from the British historian who says that until I think it was the 16th century, the year started on the 25th of March. Just to blow your mind there.
Yeah, date times are evil. And when you combine something as evil as date time with something as evil as JavaScript, the result is really, really, really painful, as you guys just saw. I hope you guys enjoyed my suffering. I certainly didn't. Thank you, Sam, for ruining my day. Until next time, peace, nerds. I kept going because I can't help myself. I'm just so confused about like the May 4th not being taken. Yeah, May 4 won't, but if I do 2021, nope. But if I add a dash, something like this, 2021-5, suddenly it will honor the May part. What if I do 04? What? So May 4th, May 04 doesn't work, but May 04:04. What if I do 13:74? That works. Okay. What is this language? If I go to 20 or 30, what? Why? None of this makes any sense at all. I'm going to literally go mad. What is happening? What is this language? Why does this exist? Can I be done? Can I please be done with this? I'm going to go crazy.